welcome to my channel. This video is for a Christmas mantle garland. This could also be used on a staircase, around a door, on a tabletop, wherever you wanted to use it. It is 9 feet long and I bought it at Hobby Lobby. First thing, you want to fluff it out just like you would your Christmas tree. So just pull all those branches apart. Now they make all different kinds of garlands, greenery garlands. I got the basic one because I'm just going to add a bunch of stuff to it to make it look real pretty, but you could even add more greenery to it. What I'm doing there is finding the center because I'm adding 4 of these floral picks and I want them pretty evenly spaced. So I found the center and then I'm going to try and attach these all evenly. So what I'm doing, I'm not gluing it on there. I am just wrapping that stem of the floral pick around the center of the garland. And I'm moving those branches around to make sure they don't get wrapped up because I want those free. And I'm wrapping the entire floral pick as far as I can go, twisting it as tight as I can. Now if you were using a really thick floral pick, some of those, especially with the greenery, you can't bend them, so you would have to cut the tops off and then glue it to the garland. Now I'm just taking the branches and giving them a good twist or two around the floral pick just to ensure that it doesn't come off. So I don't need to add any glue because I've got it wrapped around, and then I'm twisting several of these so it is nice and secure. I am attaching the second one in the same spot on the other side of the center. Probably attaching these about a foot from the center, so they're not right in the center. Like I said, there's going to be 4 of them, 2 of them on the end, and then 2 of them closer to the center. These picks came from Hobby Lobby. They were not in the Christmas section. They were actually in the floral, where they have all the floral picks. They will have a little section of Christmas floral picks and flowers in their regular floral section. So if you're looking for Christmas stuff, you know, like floral picks and stuff like that, you want to check both places because they didn't have these on both in the Christmas section too, and I just thought they were so unique and pretty. Now you may have noticed I twisted this one so it was on the back side. I just liked that better. I just thought it looked I don't know, it looked prettier coming out the back, and it does. Like once I finished this and hung it up or laid it over the mantle to take pictures, it just looks so much prettier to me. And these loops are like in 3 sections, so what I'm doing is I'm spacing them out, pulling them apart, and then twisting those branches around each section to kind of keep them separated. I didn't want them all like grouped together, you know, a bunch of loops, which was fine if that's what you like, but I wanted them spaced out so you could really see them better, and it did make it look a lot better, I thought. So now I'm taking these wreath ties. These are the ones from Dollar Tree. Hobby Lobby also sells wreath ties. They look a little bit different than that, but I like to use these because it's going to blend in with the garland. It's almost identical to the garland. So what I'm doing is taking the tops off of these ball ornaments, and then I'm going to put some glue in that hole, and then I'm just going to simply place that wreath tie in the hole and then let it dry, and it's going to be nice and secure. To me, this is the securest way to do it. You could not use the wreath ties and just glue them to the branches that are already on the garland. The only thing is I didn't want to waste a bunch of those that greenery. I didn't want to cover up a lot of that greenery because that gives it a lot of filler. So doing it this way, I'm adding more greenery and making it look even fuller. That's my opinion anyway. Now you can also leave the tops on and attach them that way, you know, with floral wire or Chanel stems or something, but I don't care where you buy these plastic ball ornaments, those tops will fall off. They will pull apart, especially over time. So if you do want to use those, pull it off, put some hot glue, not a lot, put a dab of hot glue on there, and then put the top back on immediately and let it set, and that will hold, you know, make it hold better. It's still not 100%, but it will do better. So as you see, putting one on both ends, all I have to do is twist it on there, give it a couple of twists so it don't fall off, and there you go. And you can kind of push them in if you want to. You can move them around. I think this gives you a lot more flexibility. And if over time, like you use them like this year, next year, some of them are faded, or you want to change up the colors, all you have to do is to untwist those and take them off, and that base is still there. That base is still good, and all you have to do is redo the decorations. So that's why I don't like to glue things when I'm making wreaths. You've probably noticed if you've seen my wreath tutorials, I don't glue very often something to the wreath, and that's the same with garland, because I like to freshen things up. I like to reuse, and it's very easy to, freshen things up if you don't have a bunch of stuff glued to it. So just untwisting things and taking them off is so much simpler. Okay, these mittens and stockings actually came from Dollar Tree. They are super cute, and they seem like they have like a foam center. So I'm going to attach them the same way I did the ball. What I mean is I'm going to cut off this string because I don't need that. And since that's where the hanger was, I want to attach my hanger there. So I'm just pushing my hot glue gun in there. Since it's hot, it's going to slide right in. And then pump some hot glue in there and immediately take your wreath tie and push it in there, maybe an inch, half an inch, and let it set. And it's going to dry good, and then it's going to be super simple to put it on there. Now I'm only doing one per half of a wreath tie, because I'm going to need more wreath tie to twist this on. Plus, I only have 4. I have 2 mittens and 2 stockings, and I want to attach them evenly on the garland, and so I'm spacing them out. Those ball ornaments, those came from Hobby Lobby. They were one of the big packages of, I believe, 50. I did not use all of them. There were some red and white striped ones that I did not use. I put those with the wreath kit, I believe. And then I ended up with like 6 more that I did not use at the end. So I would say probably easily 12 I didn't use of them, but you could have used the whole package if you wanted to, even more full than what it was. And you could, of course, add more floral picks and whatever else you want. And with adding these ornaments with the wreath ties, it makes it so you can move them around. Like once you put it on your mantle or wherever, you can move those ornaments around wherever you like. So now I'm going to add ribbons. I'm doing 2 ribbons. One's a 1.5 and one's a 2.5. And these, I believe both of these came from Sam's Club. So if you've got a Sam's Club membership, you really need to check out these ribbons that they get they get them early in the fall, but ours kept getting more and more in, so everybody could get a good choice. But they get all different colors and patterns. It's a really good deal. You get like a 50-yard roll for, I can't remember, I think it's less than $10, so it's a very, very good price. And they have really, really good colors and textures. I mean, it's just like, it's good ribbon. They come in, some of them are linen, some of them are more like the plasticky, and then some of them are, they're all polyester, but they're really good quality. So I'm attaching the first one goes over the end of the garland about 6 inches, and then I'm just making like a poof and then separating those. And I'm just using the branches on the garland to twist it on there. Just give it a couple of twists to hold it on there. So again, if you want to change up the ribbons later on, very, very simple to untwist those and pull it off. So nothing is glued on that garland. You can reuse that garland. If you want to change it up every couple of years or every year, be very easy to do, and that cuts the cost because you don't have to replace the garland. And again, you could just add to it. You could take a few things off. So the first time you make it is going to be your most cost, but then after that you can just keep adding to it and replacing and stuff like that. And if you pack it up really well, you're going to have to use a big tote or a wreath box or something really good like that, so you don't squish it, and it should look really good the next year too. So now I'm going to make 2 bows, and I'm doing an 8-inch tail and I believe a 10-inch loop. So I'm making my first loop. I twist the ribbon, measure, and make my next loop, and I go back and forth on the loops. You see I'm holding it in the center, so I've got one that's going to my left and one that's going to my right, and just keep going back and forth until you get the desired amount of loops that you want. And since these are going to be 2-layer bows, I don't have to do a ton of loops. They turned out, I didn't want a humongous bow on them. I wanted a couple of bows that looked really pretty but weren't going to be like overpowering the garland. So you might want to put one big bow in the center and maybe some smaller bows throughout. You can do the bows however you want. I started out with 2 and I thought I was going to do more, but I decided I really liked it with just the 2, so that's what I ended up doing. So now for this one, and this one actually goes on top. Usually I do the smaller ribbon on top, but since this one is the one that says Merry Christmas, I wanted it to be on top. And you don't have to do as many loops if you're doing a wider ribbon on top. You want to do more loops if you're doing the 1.5 on bottom. That way you can see them more, or you can do the same amount of loops. It doesn't matter. Just whatever you think. And I'm just going to twist these together. You can use a cable tie or a chenille stem like I'm doing here. Give it a good couple of twists. And you just want to fluff up your bow, cut those ends. I'm doing a dovetail or V shape. You just want to bend that ribbon in half. You don't want to crease it. Just kind of fold it in half and then cut at an angle towards the fold. Very simple. You want to do that to all ends, and then you can just kind of fluff up your loops, stick your fingers in the loops and kind of fluff them up and move them around wherever you want them. But you might want to wait until you actually get it on the garland before you do that, because if you do it beforehand, you're going to end up messing with them again when you attach it. The same with a wreath. Once you get it attached, that's when you know how you want it to look. See, I'm going to go ahead and fluff some of them up, but then I'll mess with it again once I attach it. It's just what I do. It's my habit. I'm always messing with the loops. I can't leave them alone. And I had originally was going to do 3 ribbons, but I really just like these 2 together. I decided to not go with the 3rd ribbon. And I'm attaching this right around the floral pick there towards the center. And you just want to twist that off tightly and then hide those chenille stems because you don't want those sticking out anywhere or showing. So I wrapped it around the center of the bow and twisted it off. Made sure it was on there really snug. And then you can move your tails and your loops around, but you see it ended up being the perfect size bow for this. Like I said, it wasn't too overpowering, but you can see the bows on there when it's on the mantle. It looks really pretty. See, that's a perfect bow, and you can see the different loops and the ribbons, so it turned out really pretty. And then of course I made the second one, so you can see how far close to the center I made it. And I mean, I could have done another set of bows there towards the end, but I just liked it the way it was. I thought it turned out really pretty. And like I said, you can add more picks to it. You could do whatever you wanted to it. Add as much stuff as you want. Sometimes you have to kind of separate those ribbons again. They get kind of stuck together. And that's why you leave that space when you make the poofs out of the, I'm just calling them poofs like you would with deco mesh, but I did the ribbons and poof method. That way you can pull the ribbons apart and separate them. But I was really proud. I thought it turned out really good. It's been a few years since I actually made a mantle garland, so I was really happy with it. I was worried I was going to have some problems since it had been a while, but it went very well. And like I said, almost everything I purchased was from Hobby Lobby except for those mitten and stocking ornaments, which were really, really pretty, and the wreath ties, those were Dollar Tree. So didn't spend a whole lot, didn't need to go to a bunch of stores. All the Christmas stuff was 50% off, so it was very, very reasonable. I don't know on the top of my head how much I spent, but it wasn't a whole lot, so don't be intimidated by making one yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe. Don't forget to tap that bell for notifications on my uploads and live streams. Please like, share, comment, but please be kind with your comments, and please be kind to others, and happy holidays and happy crafting, everyone. If you have any questions, please comment and I will try to answer them.